You are listening to SDO Isabela Radio-Based Instruction.
Learning never stops in Math Eskwela, your school on air.
Your partner in achieving fun learning experiences. Let's listen, enjoy, and have fun in learning mathematics. Stay tuned.
Good day, grade 6 learners. I am glad to be with you in today's lesson in Radyo Eskwela sa Isabela. I am Ma'am Jonabel B. Tobias of San Antonio Elementary School, Rojas West District, your mathematics buddy. How are you, my grade 6 learners? I hope that you are all safe and healthy while enjoying and learning a Radyo Eskwela episode. Be ready with your learning kit as we explore the wonders of proportion. There's something missing. Before we start, kindly find a place where you are comfortable and safe. That's great! I would love to see you sitting comfortably while listening to our lesson. Last time, you've learned about the meaning of ratio and proportion using concrete or pictorial models. I want you to bring out your module and turn it on page 6. There are 12 numbers here. These are 7, 6, 3, 9, 4, 2, 8, 12, 4, 14, 1, and 48. Form a proportion using these numbers. These are the possible answers. 1:6 is equal to 8 is to 48. These are the possible answers. 1:6 is equal to 8 is to 48. 3:9 is equal to 4 is to 12. And 2:7 is equal to 14 is to 49. I hope you got the correct answers. That sounds good. It only means that we can now proceed to our new lesson. Today, you'll be learning new things which are not far from our previous lesson. Yes, my dear learners, we will still be dealing with proportion. But this time, it is a more exciting and challenging lesson because you'll be able to learn how to solve problems involving different types of proportion. Isn't it exciting to know that there are 3 types of proportion? Today, we will learn how to solve them. The first type is direct proportion. Let's read the problem in your module on page 7. Mother plans to cook mixed seafoods for our lunch. She will mix 2 pieces of shells for every 3 pieces of small squids. How many shells will Mother need to mix 12 pieces of squids? First, let us illustrate the problem. The ratio of the number of shells to the number of squids is 2:3. Look at the table. We can see in the first row the number of shells. Second row, the number of squids. And the last row is the ratio of shells and squids. What can you say about the numbers in each column? Very good. As the number of shells increases, the number of squids also increases. The number of shells and the number of squids are directly proportional to each other. What can we say to the number of shells and number of squids to each other? Great! They are directly proportional with each other. How can we solve the problem? Yes, we need to write the proportion to solve the problem. Number of shells over number of squids is 2/3 equals question mark or the unknown over 12. How can we find the missing term in this proportion? Do you know that there are two methods in finding the missing term? Yes, the first method is using cross products in fraction form. 2 over 3 equals question mark over 12. The cross products of a proportion are equal. Think. 5 times a number is 60. Another method is the cross products in column form. Let's write 2 is to 3 is equal to unknown is to 12. Multiply the first and the last terms, which we called extremes, and multiply also the second and the third terms, which we called the means. Remember that in a proportion, the product of the means and the extremes are equal. After getting the products of the extremes and the means, it came out that the missing term is 8. I hope you can follow. The second type is inverse proportion. Let's take the problem in your module on page 15 to learn more about solving problems in inverse proportion. May we all read the problem? Danny's weekly allowance lasts for 5 days when she spends 24 pesos daily. This week, she plans to make her allowance last for 6 days. How much should she spend per day then? Let's use the 4 steps problem-solving process to guide us. First is understand what is asked. What do we know about the problem? We know that the weekly allowance of Danny lasts for 5 days when she spends 24 pesos a day. For her weekly allowance to last longer, she needs to spend less per day. This means that when the amount of money she spends a day decreases, the number of days that her weekly allowance increases. This word problem involves inverse proportion. Second step is plan. We can see on the first row that the amount of money spent per day decreases, and on the second row, the number of days the allowance will last increases. To set up the proportion, we will switch the terms in one quantity to make the ratios equivalent. 24 is to 6 equals the amount of money to be spent per day for 6 days over 5. Third step is solve. We can cross-multiply or we can get the product of the extremes and means. 24 times 5 is equal to the missing number times 6. Remember that the cross products of a proportion are equal. So what is 120 is equal to the missing number times 6? That's right, the missing number is 20. The last step is check. 24 over 6 is equal to 20 over 5. Let's cross multiply. 24 times 5 is equal to 120. And 20 times 6 is equal to 120. Since the cross products are equal, we can say that our answer is correct. Solving problems of inverse proportion is very simple, right? Another type of proportion is the partitive proportion. Let's read the problem in your module on page 27. Marcelo harvested 20 pomelos and mangoes in their backyard. The ratio of the number of pomelos to the number of mangoes is 2:3. How many pomelos and how many mangoes did he harvest? Just like in inverse proportion, we will use the 4-step problem-solving process to guide us in solving this problem. First is understand what is asked. What do we know about the problem? We know that Marcelo harvested a total of 20 pomelos and mangoes. The number of pomelos and number of mangoes are in the ratio of 2:3. The total number needs to be divided proportionally into parts based on the given ratio. This problem involves partitive proportion. Second is plan. We can draw a model. Third is solve. Add the terms of the ratio. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Divide the total by the sum of the terms. 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. Multiply each term by the value of each unit. 2 times 4 is equal to 8 pomelos, and 3 times 4 is equal to 12 mangoes. Last is check the answer. 8 pomelos plus 12 mangoes is equal to 20 fruits. The ratio of the number of pomelos to the number of mangoes is 8:12. In simplest form, 8:12 is equal to 2:3. How many pomelos and mangoes did Marcelo harvest? Correct! Marcelo harvested 8 pomelos and 12 mangoes. Now that you've learned the 3 types of proportion, may you turn the pages of your module on page 26, what's in, and identify which type of proportion is involved in each problem. Don't forget to solve the problem.
Ito ang bagong simula, bagong normal, bagong umagang parating. Ito ang tamang panahon upang maghanda sa bagong hamong haharapin. Hindi magbabago ang hanap ng pusong tumulong at ituloy ang ating misyon. Dahil anuman ang sitwasyon, tuloy ang edukasyon. Walang maiiwan, lahat ay aaron. Sama-sama tulong-tulong sa ating pagsulong. Anuman ang sitwasyon, tuloy ang edukasyon. Tuloy, tuloy, tuloy. Tuloy ang Pilipinas sa gitna ng pandemya, tayo ay magsama-sama kapatid. Kababayan, dapat kang makialam. Halina at tulungan ang ating paaralan. Ipagpatuloy lang natin ang ating sinimulan. At sa bawat paghapang, bakit sa pangarap mong hagdan, ipalaganap ang pag-ibig at gintong kaalaman. Kahit sarado ang pinto, huwag tayong huminto. Dahil ang edukasyon ay higit pa sa ginto. Katulong ang bawat isa at pamahalaan. Ang lahat ng ito ay malalampas ang taas yung kung haharapin ang realidad. Ating isigaw, sulong edukalidad. Sulong edukalidad. Bago ang hanap ng pusong tumulong.
Wow! You've done quickly! Let's now check your answers. Number 1 is direct proportion. And the answer is 6. Number 2, direct proportion, 75. Number 3, inverse proportion, 10. Number 4, direct proportion, 35. And number 5, inverse proportion, 5. I believe you got it all correct. So those are the 3 types of proportion. May we name them? Direct proportion, inverse proportion, and partitive proportion. Wow! You did a great job, grade 6 learners! What are the difference of these types of proportion? A. Direct proportion is a relationship between 2 quantities that increase or decrease in the same ratio. An inverse proportion is a relationship between 2 quantities in which one increases and the other decreases in the same ratio. Partitive proportion is a type of proportion in which a whole is divided into parts according to a given ratio. To find the missing value in a partitive proportion, we need to add the terms of the given ratio. Divide the total by the sum of the terms and multiply each term by the value of each unit. I can sense that you are preparing for a test. Be ready for your answer sheet, pen, and module. Turn your module on page 11, letter A, numbers 1, 2, and 3. Write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Page 22, letter B, number 6, and number 7. Write your solution and your answer on your answer sheet. And page 33, letter A, numbers 1, 2, and 3. Write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet.
Mare, narinig mo na ba ang tungkol sa online distance learning ng DepEd? Ano ba ito? Ay oo, Mare. Ang online distance learning ay isang pamamaraan kung saan maihahatid ng mga guro ang kaalaman para sa mga anak natin sa tulong ng teknolohiya gaya ng internet, laptop, computer, at cellphone. Ganun ba, Mare? Oo, Mare. Hindi magkakasama at magkakaharap ang mga estudyante at mga guro. Maaaring matuto ang mga bata sa pamamagitan ng online na pagkatuto. Isang mensahe mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
I believe that you are done. Now, let's check your answers. On page 11, letter A, number 1. The answer is letter A. Number 2 is letter B. And number 3, the answer is letter B. On page 22, letter B, number 6. The correct answer is 16 hours. And number 7, the correct answer is 15 days. On page 33, letter A, number 1. The correct answer is letter A. Number 2 is letter C. And number 3, the correct answer is letter B. That is a good noise. It seems that you've got good scores. For that, 2 thumbs up for you. That ends our lesson for today. I hope that the lessons that you've learned today makes you more confident in solving word problems. Have a great day, my dear grade 6 learners, and stay safe. Thank you for your participation. Bye!
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela!